Here's a quick video on a Poulan Wild Thing 2375. What happened is this nut that went on this stud bolt here got tightened up. This is a friend of mine's. Well, he gave it to me, and I know why. But anyways, I rebuilt the carburetor on it already, so I got it running good. But I found out that stud here needed to be changed out. So you can see where I cut it with my Dremel. Yeah, you can see little cuts right there, but I cut the nut off with my Dremel to get that off. So I looked videos on YouTube on these, but there wasn't one specific for a Wild Thing. So, and they required you to take the whole motor assembly apart. But I found out that if you take the muffler off, which is just a 5/16 socket, remove it, now you have access to that bolt. And I've already knocked it out, so I'm just going to push it in. Okay, there we go. So there it is. Now it wouldn't do me any good to order a new one of these bolts, because what it is, it just stripped out on the inside of that casing in there. You can see where it came out. So the new one would just do the same thing, it would just spin. So I'm going to try a regular bolt and clean that out real good, fill it in with JB Weld, and see what it does. So that's my plan for this. So yeah, just take off that muffler, and you can have access to that stud there, and just knock it out with a hammer. All right, this is the end of this video. Okay, there is my fix. Just a regular bolt, grade 5. I'm just going to draw it in with that spacer and that nut. Just tighten it up and kind of draw that in. But first, I'm going to clean all that out with some degreaser and then some brake cleaner to get all the contaminants off of there. And as I said, I'm going to fill it in with some JB Weld first, and then put the nut in there and draw it in. So it's going to indent in that casing, and JB Weld will fill in any gaps that we have there. So that should do the trick. So like I said, I'm just a normal guy. I don't use this saw for a business. It's just maybe I'll use it 3 times, 4 times a year. So that's going to work for me. Later. Okay, here we go. Just want to show you the process I used on how to clean that off. Brake cleaner, Q-tips, and some needle nose vice grips. So I just kind of sprayed my Q-tip and kind of went around in there and cleaned it all out. And there's a JB Weld we're going to mix up to fill in the gaps. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can see where it's been dug in. It's kind of hard to see in the video maybe, but you can see it where the edges of that old bolt just dug in as it was spinning around. So that's basically what the JB Weld is going to do, fill in those gaps, and then fill in the rest of the gaps that are going to be needed for that new bolt. Alrighty. I was going to show this part, but I know somebody would have complained, oh, you should have showed it how to do it. So this is for you guys. Later. Okay, we've got the JB Weld on there. Just kind of use this popsicle stick, got on the edges, kind of smeared it in the crevices and all around. I mean, it's kind of sloppy, but it's all right. I mean, it's not the space shuttle; it's just a chainsaw. So, time for the bolt. Okay, there we go. The bolt is in. You can see I drew it in nicely with that spacer and that nut. So I got it nice and tight, so it's pretty snug in there. So the rest of that JB Weld that is squeezed out on the edges there, that's going to fill in just nicely. So that was what I was hoping for, and that's going to work. I'm going to set for a few days. I'm not in a hurry. So I use regular JB Weld because I have better results with regular JB. I use JB Quick in some fixes, but for something strong like this, I use regular JB weld. All right, later. Okay, there we go. The finished product. As you can tell, I put a new bar and chain on it. I went to a 12-inch bar because when I do use this saw, it's going to be I'm be in a ladder up in a tree. So a smaller bar will be easier for me to use. I just went on Amazon and just searched for Oregon 27792, and it'll pull up the bar and chain that fits right on this Poulan Wild Thing saw. I just want to show you real quick. You can tell this bolt here that I replaced is shorter than the original one, and I'll show you why in a quick minute. Okay, the reason for that smaller bolt is so I can replace this order plate because it is damaged on the bottom, and without that smaller bolt I would have to remove that clutch assembly, and I don't want to do that. So by putting a smaller bolt, you can see how, I mean, it's tricky enough as it is without that smaller bolt, but it does come off. Just got to get the right angle to it. So that's why the smaller bolt. And I do have one of these older plates coming in, so when it comes in, I'll just replace it. All right. Hope this helps people out. Later.